Hey guys, it's Sandro here, and today I've got my Alfa Romeo Brera in the wash bay, and this video marks just over 2 years, or if you want to get technical, 2 years and 3 months, since I fully corrected and coated this car with NV Pro ceramic coating. The reason I couldn't do an exact 2-year update is because of the Melbourne lockdowns that kept me away from the shop for almost 3 months. But it's been well over a month since I last washed this car, as I wanted to intentionally let it get a little dirty before doing this 2-year wash update. Now, I recently did a video on my wife's Alfa Romeo Giulietta QV where I went through the general maintenance wash steps and products I use to maintain most of my vehicles. I'll link that video in the description box for those of you that are interested in that process. So I'm not going to focus too much on that here, but rather just show you guys how the paint and coating is holding up more than 2 years down the track. Now I'll just fill you in on a couple of things while I give the wheels a clean. I believe this is the 7th wash update video I've done on this car since I spent over 50 hours correcting the paint and then coating it over 2 years ago. Nova Pro is by far the most used coating in my business, so it was important for me to really test it out on one of my own vehicles for a longer period to assess and evaluate it firsthand. But for those of you that have watched a few of my past videos, you also would have seen Nova Pro being applied and also being assessed further down the track during other wash update videos on a bunch of different cars. Because it's also important to test and evaluate coatings on a variety of cars, especially when they're products and services that I provide as part of my business. I'll talk a little bit more about how this car is used and maintained towards the end of the video, but for now, let's get that layer of dust and dirt off the car so we can have a look at how the paint and coating are going as I give the car a maintenance wash. After giving the wheels a clean, I'm just snow foaming the exterior to give it a good pre-soak before the pressure rinse down. Hopefully you guys will see that although the coating certainly isn't quite as crazy hydrophobic as it was 2 years ago, for those of you that have been following these wash updates, it's certainly nowhere near gone and still performing amazingly well, as the foam still tends to bead up on the paint in most areas and really struggles to hold on as the coating fights to sheet it off its surface. So I think it's fair to say that at first glance here, the coating is still going relatively strong. With the first pressure rinse down, and even before the hand wash stage, I can see that the vast majority of the surface dirt is coming off super easy, with maybe just the last 10% or so of the road grime that'll need a hand wash to remove it. Apart from that, the water bead contact angles and water shedding rates still look fantastic. Now once again, it's not as amazing and crazy as it was on day one, but it's definitely still quite impressive. Now although most of the dirt and grime does still come off quite easy to this day, it's still really important to do regular safe hand washes to help prevent that grime from accumulating and eventually bonding to the coating and breaking it down at a faster rate. So although it may sometimes feel like you don't need to, it is still important to physically clean the paint and coating, especially as the coating starts to age and progress. But in saying that, it's super quick and easy to pull off any dirt, and the thing is that the coating still prevents a lot of the dirt from actually bonding to it, so the car really does tend to look quite clean between washes for the most part. One of the added bonuses of having a hydrophobic coating is that drying the vehicle is so quick and easy. Now hopefully you guys saw earlier that I can also dry the car by using water to collect droplets and sheet it off the panel. But even with blown air, it's just a breeze and the remaining water shoots off the paint with very little effort or time needed.
All those days found together, fire, you're giving up. All the times the spark has struck, we can't kiss goodbye to this one of those stunning nights. All the laughter we will never have, all the sunset we won't catch.
Now, as I've discussed in previous wash updates, this car spent the first 6 months after coating it mostly parked outside. The 6 months after that, it was a combination of being parked both inside and outside, and the last 12 months mostly parked inside. And this car's also gone from being my daily driver to now being my weekend driver. So all in all, it's actually been used and parked in diverse situations over the past 2 years, which is a good balance to test out a coating in real life conditions that do vary for everyone. Additionally, for the first 12 months, I didn't use anything on top of the coating because I also wanted to assess the coating on its own. But for the past 12 months, I started using Nova Boost, which is a quick detailer, to see how it would maintain the coating. Now over the last 3 months, I've put absolutely nothing over the coating, partly because of the Melbourne lockdown, but also because I wanted you guys to see the coating on its own for this 2-year plus update, And since an overboost tends to break down after a couple of weeks or after a maintenance wash or two, it's safe to say that it's long gone and the coating itself is what you're seeing in the footage. A lot of what I do is based on testing and evaluating products. So I'd personally recommend using SiO2 based top coats or quick detailers and sealants, as in my experience they do prolong and maintain coatings better in the future. But my aim with a lot of these update videos is also to show the coating on itself rather than anything on top of it. Now the paint and coating have definitely accumulated a few wash-induced swells, a few water spots, a little oxidation in some places, and some environmental contamination and so on over the past 2 years. So it's not like it's perfect. But I will say that the paint looks better than any car I've coated 2 years on, especially considering that it is soft black paint. And the coating is definitely performing worlds better than I would have expected after this time period. But I also want you guys to understand that I look after my cars. So it's not like I've just put a coating on and it's magically stayed this good without any upkeep. I stay away from car washes. I regularly wash the car with safe washing techniques. I use quality products and I keep an eye on how it's going and if it needs anything addressed. I also want to point out that I spent well over a week decontaminating and correcting the paint before applying the coating. So like I've said many times in the past, the best preparation in the world means nothing if you use a cheap coating. And the best coating in the world means nothing if you have poor preparation. It's the combination of a thorough preparation process matched to a quality coating that's the winning formula. Additionally, if you don't maintain the car with safe and regular maintenance, it also means nothing, or at least in the long run. Having said all of that, I just couldn't be more happy with how this car and the coating is going. And I guess we'll see what happens 2.5 to 3 years on in the next video update, which will be interesting to see. As always, I really hope you guys enjoyed and found this video useful. Please share this video, like, comment and subscribe to this channel to show your support for this content, and I'll see you guys soon.
In the spring